Show. Living on the water is the only life we know. Yo, ho, ho, ho. It's time for the Boaty Show.
Welcome, everybody. This is the second show we've recorded today, Saturday, August 31st of Labor Day weekend, 2024. It is something we've been trying to put together for a little while, and our guests are the ones that were insistent in a good way, and we are excited that they had the drive, the energy to say, we're doing this. They are our latest, newest, younger demographic liaisons. You want to introduce yourselves, Jack?
Sure. Honored to be the newest demographic liaison. I'm Jack Northington, and this is...
I'm Selena, but everyone calls me Cece, so we'll just go with that. Yeah.
Two of my favorite people.
Wonderful people. So I've known Jack since he was a baby on the floor. I've known Cece since she was like 3 and running around in a sandy bay. We're at Jack's family place at the head of Grindstone Island.
Mid-River Farm, one of the nicest places on the river, in my opinion. Just something really special about the view and the layout and the shape of the house, and it's a very cool spot. And just the whole head of the island is always a special place to me. I really came here because of what I consider to be my sister family. So my sister-in-law is Cece's aunt, and so this place always feels like family to me.
Yeah, the whole head of the island does. Head meaning it faces up into the current, and here it often means faces into the wind, which is part of what makes this house really special. And would you indulge me in using more words to describe this house, and then we'll hand it off to Jack and Cece?
Yeah, sure. I would love to do that. I'm going to just talk about what lights me up about this house, which is the curved porch that we're sitting on. It is really almost like a semicircle, and part of it has a brick floor, which is flush with the lawn, which is one of my favorite things. And the part that we're sitting on is screened in, and it has a wood floor, lots of screens and a wood ceiling, and it's just extra special because of the curviness. I like curvy. And lawn in front of us, and then they're just like
cliff,
acres and acres of river and islands, and I mean literally 40 acre shoal is what we're staring at, right?
Right there, right in front of us. That's my personal favorite part about the head of Grindstone is we face where the river opens up into the lake. So we have just a super wide panoramic view of the Canadian mainland, Howe Island, down into Kingston. So it's very different. It's much wider than down by Wellesley or Tay Park.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell us more about this house. What do you know about it? History, architecture, design elements?
I know less than I should. That's for sure. It's late 19th century. Oh yeah.
Go,
sure.
Cece.
Yeah, okay. It was designed, I think it was designed by the guy who built Grand Central, which is really cool. So the way that this is all organized is super long and funky, but I think that's a really cool fact, and something that's interesting about a lot of the houses up here is that they were designed by these super wealthy people that came up and then just completely abandoned ship. So everything here Jack and I talk about is like perfectly underdeveloped in a lot of ways, which is...
Yeah. I mean, we're going on and on about a house on a show that's about boats. I've boated past this house many times, and I've always thought it was a small farmhouse because from any sort of point on the compass looking at it, it presents a relatively small facade. It doesn't have this like big massing, right? And when you get close, there are beautiful curving details and finishing aspects of it, but it looks farmhouse. I mean, this is called Mid-River Farm. It looks like a farmhouse. There is a farmhouse on the other side of the property, but my understanding is that the architect stayed here for a while until he figured out how to design the house so that no matter what room you were in, if you opened a couple of windows, you would have a cross breeze, no matter what direction the wind was coming from. Is that true?
It's completely true, and it's
you've lived
really,
that.
really
That's your
cool.
lived experience.
Yeah, I mean, we just moved here this summer, and I have been in college and then out of college for years, so I haven't really been in the loop. So I got here in June and was very, very surprised. Every day you walk downstairs and it's just windy in your kitchen. It's pretty great.
No matter what direction the wind's coming from?
Yes, if there's any wind, you can feel it.
Windy in your kitchen. Cool.
I loved it when I was sitting here. Nice.
That's cool. So thank you very much for welcoming us here. We're talking to like kids who grew up, like were basically born in a boat. I think we talked about B on a show or a couple of times. No, we talked about Claire because I think the last time I was here was Claire, Jack's youngest sister, yelled at me, hey, I listen to the Boaty show with my dad when we're driving. I have a boat of the week. And I said, oh, you should email it to me. And she said, I don't have time for that. You need to go down to that boathouse and look at that 17-foot Montauk. It's the best boat.
And you said?
I think I said, okay, Claire, you win boat of the week. And you don't have to worry about email. Claire has been zooming around in that particular whaler for her whole life. So has Jack. Cece's been in it as probably as long as she can remember too, or at least been in and out of it in some way. What we're hoping to do today is get your perspective on what it's like to have your earliest memories be so watery and boaty and also rooted in the Thousand Islands. And so what are some of the things, what's shaped you? What do you value now that you have a little bit more perspective as you've gotten older? And it's oh, wait, now I'm in college or out of college, and that's not just the default anymore.
I think that's that's why we really wanted to have this. Jack and I were both really excited to kind of share our perspective on this. I feel like I've grown up, and I think at the core, the place itself is what's so important to me, and so we keep coming up for the place. So significant. But then Jack and I really wanted to talk about transportation too, because we think that's such a unique part, and so boats play a huge part in that. The carts that we'll drive around play a huge part in that, and then the people. And so the way that we're able to kind of zoom around and have all these memories from when we were younger, and just all the adventures that we had and everything else on the island, I think it's cool to see how I'm doing still a lot of the same shit I did when I was really young. We're still running around.
Yeah, I mean...
Well, now that you're on Grindstone, Jack. So.
Yeah, well, so before, my family lived on Wolf Island, which is just across the way down there. That's right. And basically, when we were little kids, we wanted to hang out with our friends, our cousins, of which there are many. You had to get in a boat, so you had to learn real early. We got our boater's licenses when we were 11, 12, and we're driving a lot earlier than that.
Where did you get your boater's license? I got mine at the Red Schoolhouse here.
Really?
Yeah.
I got mine at the Antique Boat Museum in Clayton.
That's cool.
So explain, Jack, go with what's the Antique Boat Museum, and what was it like getting your boater's license there as a 11-year-old?
That's such a great question, because Antique Boat Museum it's a large antique boat museum in Clayton, New York, which is the closest American town, village, whatever you want to call it, to Grindstone Island. And getting my license there was super weird because I was 11, taking a 2-day class. And the class periods were 5-6 hours long. And it was me and a bunch of 30, 40-year-old dudes who
wanted to drive their jet skis.
Exactly.
PWC.
Or just dropped a lot of money on a bass boat and wanted to figure out how to use it and how to use a trailer. And yeah.
Was it taught by Gary?
I could not tell you.
Mine was. I remember Gary. And he drives a jet ski too, I think. He was talking about it a lot, and he had his whole wetsuit and everything else. He's a really funny guy. I was shocked that he's a big jet skier.
Cool. What's the Red Schoolhouse, and what was that like?
That's a big part of my childhood. So I've been on the island for as long as I can remember, because my mom has been coming up here forever and ever, and my aunt and everybody. So we always went to the Red Schoolhouse, my brother and I, which is kind of more in the center, I guess, of the island. Yeah, so we would go there when we were younger, and they had a bunch of different activities. My aunt would sometimes run little things for me and some of the other younger kids that were on the island. I used to hang out a lot with the Browns and stuff, and played around in the garden. And then they offered the boater's license course, which was fun, and Gary was the one who taught it. I think I was 15 or 16 when he took it. And
Gary Coker.
Yep, and my brother got a higher score than I did by 2 points. I took it with my brother and then Theo McCarn, and the three of us were all trying to compete on the final exam. I think I got a 94 and he got a 96, and
did better than me.
yeah, I was pissed about that.
Did it feel momentous, or just kind of okay, let's get this done?
It felt like a pain in the ass.
It was sort of like we've already been driving these boats, and
since we were 7.
Yeah,
it's never an issue before that.
It is. I thought it was fun though to get my boater's license before my driver's license, and I was like,
that is something.
Yeah.
You can get your boater's license in New York State at 10.
Yeah. When I found that out, I was shocked.
As a parent, it was exciting to consider, that they could be a legal boat driver all by themselves at 10. Also, less terrifying for me than it was for Missy, but also whoa, okay. A lot of responsibility. Yeah.
I just think about being 10 and trying to learn about the right of way and what the different buoys mean and how to kind of react.
The course I took, we had to learn all the saltwater traffic buoys, all the channel markers that you just will not see here.
Yeah.
I was thinking
the black and white checkered one. Okay, that's not a thing.
The right return. That's all we need.
Yeah. With the driving since you were 7, if not earlier,
Don't tell the Coast Guard.
No.
Secret.
Oh, no, it's not a secret.
Not anymore.
The Coast Guard's like, they're going to be fine or not, but there's a lot of them, so they could lose a few and still survive as a family. Jack's one of 4. CC, you're one of 2.
Yep.
Ages. Yeah, how old are you guys?
23.
Both of us. Yep.
Both you're both 23. Okay. Yeah, but Jack and CC both have like a ton of cousins and second cousins and stuff all over the place.
It's an army.
I'm finding more and more today. We just
We
met
met a new
another
one
cousin
last
last night.
Yeah.
Named
Really?
Wolfie.
What named what?
His name is Wolfie.
Wolfie?
Yeah, he's German guy.
Yeah.
Shout out Wolfie.
Jack, what was the first boat you piloted by yourself?
I remember it in detail.
Yeah?
It was the 13,
Give us the visuals.
Perfect. It was a perfect day. And it was, I was definitely 7 or 8, something like that. And I went from Beauvais Point on Wolf Island to Club Island, which is in Lindley Bay on the southwestern side of Grindstone. And I was in my grandfather's 13-foot Boston Whaler, Super Sport, with a 30 horsepower Evinrude from, I believe, the late 80s on the back of it. And I was fired up. It was a good time.
Was this like your parents saying, "Sure, take the keys and go," or was there any ceremony to it, or was it?
I would say there was ceremony to it. That might have been in my own head as a 7-year-old pilot, but I remember like Lachlan, my brother, and I did it like around the same time. And
Shout out to Lockie. Hope you listen to this.
Lachlan. I think he definitely will. And then my cousins Miles and Quinn McLean. We all just kind of that was a ritual.
I remember seeing all of you guys pull up to my beach when I was younger. Just pop out of the boat one after the next. Yeah.
You because you, Miles, and Quinn are the same age, right? Mm-hmm. You're all 23.
Yep.
Yeah. So those are your cousins. Just for context, I feel as if Jack, his family, and his extended family are mine as well, because Jack's uncle, his mom Rebecca's brother Tucker, is the my hook into the river. He brought me here in October of 1992, I think.
Wow.
And it was, you're going to appreciate this, it was sold as, "Hey man, we should go up to this place. It's the Thousand Islands. My family has a camp there. You know, it's going to be great. We'll hang out. We'll take the boat out. We'll do all this stuff." And I showed up here, and because it was October, like kind of around Canadian Thanksgiving, I immediately was put to work.
Yep.
I feel like it doesn't matter what time of year you come up, you're always going to be put to work up here.
Mm-hmm. Lots to do.
And we cleared brush and hauled boats and like filled the cottage, the 2-bedroom,
Goose egg, yeah.
the goose egg 2-bedroom cottage that you grew up in, filled it up with canoes and lasers and sunfish, and like probably ate like the last bits of food that were still around. I loved it. I thought it was great. But that was anyway. That was in 1993, and then Missy and my wife and I, came to Tucker's wedding in 2004, and that's when she fell in love. And so anyway, there's a lot of family history here.
I had no idea you had been here that early.
Yeah.
92,
Yeah.
93, whatever it was.
He
He
was like, we were at school in Connecticut, and he was like, he just wanted, like, we used to do this a lot. He would be like, "Hey, should we?" And I was like, "Yeah." And then whatever it was, we would go. And this was one of those trips. And because I said yes to that almost all the time, so he asked me first for the most part, and then I do the same thing to him. Yeah. So I mean, geez, that's 30 years ago now, which is kind of cool. Yeah.
That's also strictly a chore weekend, the Columbus Day weekend. There's really, you can't intend to have any fun.
No, you
weekend.
can't.
It's all chopping wood and putting everything away. It's actually a lot of work.
Yeah. So all your cousins piling out on the beach from the 13-foot whaler, and we're going to get to UCC in just a moment. But did you feel, how did it make you feel at that age, being given that kind of responsibility? And
I mean, amazing. I definitely remember thinking, okay, I feel like I'm going to do this pretty much all the time for the rest of my life. Like every time I'm at the river, the boat is going to be very, very important. We're going to be in the boat.
It's essential.
Yeah.
You need the boat.
Yeah,
You really
need
do.
it. Yeah, we talk about that sometimes. How this place, and there are a lot of others also. Some of what makes it special for people who enjoy a certain kind of boating is that transportation, like you said a minute ago, Cece. All right. So, what was the first boat you drove by yourself, and how old were you?
Damn, I can't remember how old I was, but probably around maybe 11, something like that. It's definitely later because we've just been on Grindstone, and So we were always taking the cart around. I took the cart around a bunch, and that was what I was allowed to do. That was kind of my free reign. And so the guys always had to take the boat to get to us, but I've already been in the jungle, so I was able to just zoom around here. But
So the cart is...
It's an Easy Go 2007. We've had it since then, and same with the boat. We got both the boat and the cart the same year. We used to have a Lyman, but we call it Vichy Swaz because it used to leak all the time. So that was tough. And then, but we have the Triumph now, and it's a small little boat, but my God, this thing is such a tank.
Bomb-proof, right?
And I hit a shoal for the first time ever earlier this summer.
Yeah,
Jack is the one who said, yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. High five you, because why not?
Yeah. That was tough. It was just all of a sudden less than a foot of water. Yeah, that boat, I brought it in. I've actually discovered, too, another marina that was awesome. It was the Boathouse Marina, and they fixed it up really fast. Got the boat back, and now it flies through the water. So this whole summer, I've just been zooming around in it, and it feels like a new boat. And but yeah, I've had this basically my whole life. It's the one that we share, and then my aunt has another boat named Mina, and that one's more of like a industrious boat. But what I think is so cool about the Triumph is the fact that it will float no matter what. And so the material that it's made out of is just remarkable.
Very sturdy.
Sturdy, bomb-proof, kind of get you through anything.
That and the cart, both the vehicles we have, I don't know what my mom did, but she somehow invested in just tanks.
The things that would last.
Yeah, we've been running the cart to the ground. It's just take off the roof this year because it was falling off. So we've been kind of making different adjustments. Now it looks like a little go-kart. But yeah,
it's a golf cart, right? Is that what it is? It's a golf cart?
Yeah, it's a golf
electric
cart.
golf cart.
But it's a little fancier than that.
It's gas.
It's got raised tires.
Gas?
And, it's gas. But and now stalls for 30 seconds. I have to hit the gas for and it'll just kind of lurch for 30 seconds. Then it'll go.
So this is something about being on Grindstone is that boats are not your only transportation.
No, but if you want to leave, which you have to do if you want to eat.
If you want to eat.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you do need the boat.
Yes.
So what percentage would you guys say, because this is, I think, what Jeff was moving toward a few minutes ago, is this question of how much of boat is transportation versus recreation?
Oh,
it's more transportation.
Definitely.
Give me percentages. We got to really dial it in.
I would say
70 to 80%.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
But tentatively, because I feel like we have swaths of time where we're just screwing around on the river having fun.
And I love screwing around on the river.
Yeah.
You do, huh? Tell me about your average day screwing around on the river.
Well, I think Jack should take this one because Jack's captain whenever we go to the river.
Let's go. Let's hear it.
Yeah, when I was younger, I was a real pain in everyone's ass because I just demanded to drive. That's why I typically drive now. But
what boat were you driving at this point?
The Montauk, the 17-foot whaler that my
Claire's
sister
submission.
Yeah,
check.
Yep.
And that was the first boat I rode in on the river because it was your family's only, it was it. That was it. It was you were like a one-car family. And Tucker and I hopped in that thing and ripped out into waves and immediately were in the air.
It pounds so hard. It hurts your feet standing up. And it is beat to hell now. It's not in great shape, which we're gonna do something about that. But.
All right. Yeah. Hands up for whalers. Let's see them, right? We love the whalers. Jeff's getting voted. Yeah, Jeff, he loves it too. All right. So you were driving the whaler.
Yeah. And I credit my mom, Rebecca, honestly, because she would always push everyone to explore the river and go downriver. Yeah. Round of applause for her. And
props.
Yeah. And just get down to TI Park.
We're getting actual applause.
There we go.
Rebecca getting her children out on the river. Good job.
Yeah, she would just, in the morning, she'd demand that we go on a quote-unquote river adventure.
She's ready to get rid of you guys.
Yeah.
Legit.
Yeah.
Good job, lady.
And so she showed us where to go, how to get through Lake of the Isles and go up on the Canadian side. And
Lake of the Isles?
Yeah.
Head of Grindstone went to Lake of the Isles?
Not regularly, but a couple times a summer, I'd say.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say that right now.
It's a lot of
impressive.
gas.
Most people stay close. It is a lot of gas. She really wanted you gone.
Yeah. But she showed us how to get into the Lost Channel and where Ivy Lee is, and how to get through the Gan Narrows and back around the north side of Grindstone. And so once we all knew how to do that, and we were 15, 16, we started doing it by ourselves in the Montauk. We'd get 5-gallon tanks of gas and just rip down there. And
that's awesome.
Fun. Yeah.
That is awesome. And were you along for these rides, miss?
I am now. I love being a passenger on these trips.
Yeah.
The river days, it's fun. I love the Lost Channel and jumping off the cliffs and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So this is one of the ways that you do that is you go out and you go far.
Yeah. But like I said, it varies because we will pick like a day or two a summer where we do that. And then for the rest of the time, we're in the boat every day, but it's for
But it's
errands.
transportation.
Yeah. Moving people, going to get stuff from town.
Chores.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you think it's kind of funny that it's like this thing that we do for it's kind of funny to me that the boat is transportation, you have to do it, but then if it's
I
just
look
you put
forward to it,
a
though.
different
It's
mindset
enjoyable
on it,
every time.
becomes
So fun.
it's recreational and it's fun, right?
Yeah.
I love going by myself too. Just like zooming across. I mean, I don't go that fast because I've got 60 horsepower engine on my boat.
That's
but
plenty.
yeah, if the water's calm though, you're zipping through. Go through like whiskey and papoose, and it's so fun. So yeah,
I couldn't agree more.
love it.
The last couple of summers I started turning music up really loud
Yep, I
and
do
boating
that
at the
every
same time.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it is the most fun thing
It's
ever.
the
What's your
best.
go-to song? What have you been listening to?
Right now this is like if only I dun- dang-a-na-na, dang-a-na-na-na-na-na. Jeff will find it.
Do that one
Jeff
more
will
time.
find
We'll
it.
Shazam it.
Yeah.
Exactly. But yeah, it's just straight dance music, honestly. Like I'm
Yeah.
like
music's the
dancing
best.
and boating at the same time is like my favorite thing to do.
Yeah.
What was the one we were listening to last night?
Oh yeah, that's MIA. You know MIA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
So yeah, that was an
was
MIA
that?
song.
Oh, the All I
Bad
Want to
Girls.
Be.
It's
Paper Planes?
Paper Planes, that's
There
the
we
one.
go.
I
Yeah.
thought he was gonna say Bad Girls.
No, but we'll listen to that on the way home. Yeah, Paper Planes, MIA is what we were listening to last night. But that's what I love is this. I think what's so interesting is the way different people balance you have to do it, but it's still fun.
There's
Yeah.
definitely a way to make taking trash to the dump in Clayton very, very fun. If you're on a
Wise
boat.
words.
No.
Wise words.
Yeah, trash and a hangover is a mean combination.
It is. There's like that darkish moment where you're just
Yeah.
like, I gotta do it.
Bad
gotta do
smells.
I
The
gotta
sun's
do
really
it.
bright.
Somehow I gotta get it done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because Tucker and I would come up here in our 20s, you're actually making me nostalgic for some of those, like, roll out of the bed in the morning after staying up late around the fire with all the Molsons. But like you wake up and you're in a place where the air and the sort of what's available to you just gets you going earlier. And because it's an island and because everything's that much more challenging, you kind of got to get going and at least deal with some of the trash or something,
Yeah.
and go.
So many mornings I was just forced to wake up. I'm in the cabin, just a little bit ways down, closer towards Buck Bay and Flynn Bay from here, and I just hear the wind come into the cabin and just wake up in a panic around like 7 or 8 in the morning and think about the boat. If it was on the dock, I had to move it to anchor it and stuff because it would get
Yeah.
slammed. And we're just because of the position we're at right now. If the wind's coming in, it could start from the north and then it'll switch from the south. Depending if I have the boat on one side, it's just going to get hammered. So I have to move it and anchor it, and that I would do. I think I did that 10 times this summer.
How old were you when you first started waking up and like having that be part of what you considered and then
That's a good
acted on?
question.
Well, something that I considered from an early age, because I just see all the adults around me being like, the boat. Because we had a dock before on our beach, but then it was wiped out from the ice storms because we just are forward facing. And so now we have one in the bay that we still own that's right next to us. It's like a floating dock, but we just kind of anchor the boat for the most part because that's the best way to do it. Or if it's really extreme, bring it here to mid-river, the squash court. But yeah, I think I probably 14 or 15, I'd say, when I started coming up and would really start to feel that panic about like, oh no, we got to deal with the boat now. And this is my responsibility to deal with it.
You had a lot of responsibility this summer.
Yes, definitely.
I was calling it your Islands of the Blue Dolphin summer.
Yeah, it was. I like that. It was, yeah. I still feel bad about that person that I kind of told off on the beach. That one.
Oh, he loved it.
Yeah, no, I'm glad he had a good sense of humor about it. I just kind of saw someone who I didn't know coming.
You know the story? No. So yeah, you tell it from your side.
So I had just picked up my friend Lulu, and she was coming up. So this was her second summer, and she's related to the moles actually through marriage. So I grab her, and we're coming in. I just taken her on a little cruise. It was beautiful. Water was glass, and then we had just docked, and I see someone kind of boating in, and I was like, that's not Jack. And because Jack's kind of the only person who was sort of coming by at this time.
I love that, by the way. Wait a minute, that's not Jack.
Not a lot of people up. Yeah.
And then, so I bring Lulu back, and I think I kind of developed a lot more of a weird, not territorial, but it was probably because I was just sort of holding down the fort in a lot of ways this summer. And even though people were coming in and out, I kind of felt like head honcho. the house. So whenever I saw someone who I did not know at a certain point of day, because people will always come into the bay, but this is dusk, and I'm like, why is this person coming in? And so I stormed down there by myself, and I'm just kind of standing on my steps, and I'm like, who are you? And he's just paddling slowly, and he was looking for minnows. But I was like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I know your aunt. And I was like, and? I don't care. Keep going. He was like, I know your mom too.
You're like, you're just creepier now. I understand.
Yeah, I was like, that doesn't make a difference. I'm the one who's here and I don't know you, so I'm not going to pretend like. I didn't really know what to do in that situation because he's name dropping my mom and my aunt, and I'm not trying to start anything there. But at the same time, me being with my friend, I was just kind of concerned about someone kind of coming and hanging out.
So as it turns out, I
get a bunch of texts. I text my mom and my aunt about it afterwards. They're like, no, he's so nice. He's so cool.
So this is the director of the field station at the biological field station at Governor's Island.
Oh my God.
I made it a hostile environment for sure.
Making sure that we don't lose our entire fish population on the river. Like
super cool guy.
PhD doing science.
He's like the minnows are great
like
here
a
in your
field
bay.
station over by Clayton.
That sounds like something.
And I get a text from him the next day, and he's like,
he could have said that instead of being like, I know your aunt. A lot of people know my aunt.
Great minnows.
I know. I love it.
She's awesome. Yeah.
So so I get a text. It's like from John Farrell. He's like, I was just out in Salinas Bay, and her daughter came down, and she is very protective, which is very good.
Don't mess with my bay.
It's the Don Cece.
I was like, yes. Oh my God, it's amazing. It was very adorable.
Yeah.
That's fantastic because John Farrell
he's so nice.
He's the least creepy person in the universe.
Very nice.
He runs a field station.
I think back on it now, knowing from a lot of different sources that he's a really good guy and does really important
though.
work. But I was just like, who is this?
Yeah,
guy?
well, I mean, you're 23. You're there with another woman your age, and like there's some dude coming in at a different kind of time. Like they're not coming in to anchor for the afternoon, and he's like going slow, and yeah.
What are you gonna do? Like John Farrell makes it weird. Yeah. In the same way that you and I make it weird when we creep all up on people and try to give them Boaty Show stickers for no reason. And everyone's like, easy. Why are you coming so close to me? It happened today. Jeff was like, I don't know. You just decided you need to creep up on these people. And they were like driving by with chairs. And I was just like, oh, Jesus, why am I on the side of the boat where I have to talk to these people? And everyone's like looking at you like, why are you getting so close to me? Because there's a personal space thing with boats. Like people don't just drive up to your boat for no reason.
Well, people do at Cece's Beach every weekend.
Man, and I always
every afternoon.
That is very true.
Yep.
It's a challenging one. This is a challenging situation.
I'm not going to have an issue with it if people are really in the water. I mean, but once they come onto the beach, they're going to face my wrath. I'm going to give them a piece of my mind.
It is a funny thing about it.
I want everybody to know that I just got a little scared looking at Cece saying those words because the true intensity of her expression came through audibly when I looked at the hard set of her face, the shake of the head, and it's like you flexed your arms a little bit too. I want to tell a story about how like awesome John Farrell is and how safe you actually were.
Please go on.
So we were hanging out.
I would love to meet him again.
We were hanging out.
John Farrell, please come by again. Would love to see you and apologize and hear about what you're doing.
He does amazing science. He like literally has rescued the muskie population here.
He dropped that in at the end, and I was like, okay, I'll let you go. But I was going to come back down if he was still there 2 hours later.
Yeah.
So I was like, what do I do in this situation?
Cece's eyes just narrowed, and she like a likely story saving muskies. Oh,
nice try, pal. I don't think so.
I've heard that before.
This isn't Jack.
So John and his wife and kids came to visit when we were on Steph's houseboat on Docksident. So the docks on the backside of Occident are Docksident. John and his wife came, and they had it was one of the field station boats. So it was just this like really cool beater fiberglass boat, just a work boat. And I grew up on the Chesapeake Bay, sailing on the Chesapeake. We would charter boats when I was like my whole childhood, and you'd see these kinds of like hard bitten, just zero aesthetic quality, right? But that's an aesthetic quality in its own right. And so he pulls up in one of these things, and we're hanging out, and he has to go check some nets, trap nets. He had to go check trap nets because I don't know a ton about it, but you set these trap nets, and that's how you sample population over a period of time. And he's like, I'll just take all the kids. And so he took Mary Jane, Toby, Walker, Leo, Sam, his kids, his two kids, by himself, just like, and they were all Mary Jane, my oldest, Leo, your oldest, Steph. They couldn't have been more than 7 or 8, which put the youngest at like 4. And he took them all and disappeared for like 2 hours and came back and had pulled trap nets with 6 kids, seven kids. And I have a picture somewhere of all of them arrayed around the front of the boat in their life jackets, just like eyes huge, and John just looking all like field biologist driving the boat behind him. He wasn't even really smiling because this was just like no big deal. It was really, really cool. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Maybe if he'd had 7 kids with him, it would have been less creepy.
It's so true. There's nothing creepy about John Farrell, but I can totally see your side of this as well. I just love the way the whole thing came together.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Well, I'm glad that I now have an understanding of who he is, and I would like to apologize.
No, he was super stoked about it.
I do like the comment of being Island of the Blue Dolphins. I feel like that's pretty badass, and I like that. So
yeah, it's
I'll
you.
take that. Thank you.
It's you.
Yeah.
You get a killer summer. Like
I did have a killer summer.
Story time.
Yeah. Oh, story time. Well, the shoal, that was number 1. So that was introduction to. Well, no, I think the first one we were talking about this boat. So my battery kept running out. And Steph was there one day. We were all sitting on the beach together, me, Steph, and Julie, having a great time. And then I was having battery problems. And then I was like, I'm just going to check the battery and make sure it works because I had to pick someone up the next day. Turns out it does not. And so it was a 3-woman job trying to haul it because the battery does not quite fit in the in the compartment that it's supposed to, or at least getting it out. It doesn't. It doesn't not come out very seamlessly, and it's 30 pounds at least. So heavy.
Yeah, we were all like 30% capable of you were like 50%, and Julie and I were like 25 each, like capable of handling the situation.
Yeah.
And we all like wandered out there like just good.
But a lot of people on the island definitely were familiar with, I texted the Wolvertons, I texted the Northingtons, I texted Urchin Harry, I texted you because I had a lot of battery problems at the beginning of the summer. So that was step 1 of me on my Island of the Blue Dolphin summer. And then and then I hit a shoal at the end of June. Jack and Hanson came and rescued me. That was pretty awesome. And then Pig.
The big one. The mean one.
The one that you were just talking about diving on as we came around. Yeah.
Square mile of shoal.
The football field.
Yeah, I was just coming in. I could not see. No stars that night. And the light was shit. And then next thing I know, I was like looking around. And I was like, I feel like I'm too close. So I had slowed down. 20 seconds later, just rode up on. It was not one of the shoals. It was out of the water, but it was just shallow
under.
Water. So the boat was pretty scratched up, but it was fine afterwards. A few dings to the prop, replaced the prop, and now it soars. And then what else happened? I feel like there was probably another incident, but the biggest incident of the summer was that I broke my back. So that was tough. That was about a month ago. Tough accident. Hit a tree stump as a passenger, and the tree stump won. So
yeah, that happens sometimes.
But now I have 8 bolts in my back and 2 rods, which is pretty cool. Or I'm waiting for it to become cool once the paint.
You went swimming for the first time today since that happened,
that was big.
girl.
Yes.
Nice job.
Hell yeah.
This morning, like today.
Yes.
A couple hours
today.
ago. Yeah.
Right before this, actually.
Yeah.
Getting excited for the Boaty show, I took a little dip. So bouncing back. That was the first fracture I've ever had. So it was summer first shoal, first fracture.
You decided to go big or go home on the whole summer.
I had a lot of different, but I've learned a lot too about how to kind of maintain a house up here, how to take care of yourself, how to take care of the people around you. And I think that there's a lot of lessons you can learn from that. And that's what I love so much about this
That's
place.
kind of one of the things that makes this a really special place, don't you think? I mean, everyone pulls together when they have to. And you guys certainly, I've watched you guys do that this summer and other summers, but especially this summer. I've watched
Jack's been my rock
you
this
guys.
summer. This has been my buddy the whole time.
Yeah.
So.
You guys have been the way people pull together up here is special. I was just talking to somebody about this the other day because it's a very independent place to live, which is what you just said. Like the special experience of being here and figuring out how to handle yourself. It's a little bit intimidating. It's a little bit intense, but it's also really gratifying, and it makes it really
rewarding.
It's rewarding.
The
and
intensity is what makes it gratifying.
I gotta say, one of the best activities though too that I've learned is weed whacking. That was something I got really into.
Oh, please tell me more about that. Please tell me more.
Yeah, I love weed whacking now. That was really fun. I need to get new strings for it, but yeah, it's awesome.
Jeff is feeling
great.
Jeff
you.
just
I
put both
put in
hands in
some,
the
I'll
air.
put some good music in. I'd come back from my little walks, and then I would just weed whack because there's so much weed whacking to do around the cabin. And
Wow.
the grass was so tall at the beginning of the summer, and I think I probably spent at least 8 hours or more weed whacking.
I need to find a love of weed whacking.
It's good well, yes, I'm
Or find someone who loves weed whacking, Stone. She's sitting right over there.
right here.
She stayed at your house last night.
She's about to move
Yeah.
to like literally move to Europe.
I'm flying back. Yes, on September 9th, I will be in Scotland.
Yeah.
But then I'll be back.
College.
Yeah, St. Andrews. Quinn out there?
Yes, it is.
I was looking at. He looks like he's
Quinn
in the dead
McLean
zone right
is-
now.
Quinn McLean is in the laser. He's in the sailboat, running away from the rain.
So
Yeah, that's definitely Quinn.
we're looking out at what's known as 40 acres. So it's one of the biggest stretches of open water that is still technically in the Thousand Islands. It's more than 40 acres, a lot more. And I've been watching this tiny, well, it's a laser, so about a 12-foot dinghy, single mast, single sail.
Sunfish.
It can move though.
Yeah, they can.
quick.
It'll plane off. They're crazy fast. And I watched it sail from southwest across the wind, and now it's coming in. I think.
He's working on it.
He makes it back. He's
Do you know
gonna
where
come
he-
in all excited.
He doesn't sail a ton. I think this is the first in a while, which is why he's pretty ballsy.
not
Coming
a-
all the way over here, it's not that nice of a day.
It's
We talked
probably
earlier
blowing
today, he was
15. It's probably blowing 15 sustained. It's not too gusty, which is good.
He's pretty close though.
That's
so
like
he
18
made it.
sustained.
He's home for it. He'll be here. And
Did he start here, or is he
He's
coming
gonna
here from
drift.
somewhere
coming
else?
here from
Wolf.
Island? Yeah,
Okay.
from Beauvais.
Yeah.
Beauvais Point.
Yeah, the foot of Wolf Island. So we're on the head of Grindstone, points into the current. The foot of Wolf. Wolf is, I think it's the biggest. It's
in the Thousand Islands.
Yeah.
19 miles long because it has 19 roads that are called
Line roads.
line roads. For the first line road, the second line road, 19th to the 19th line road. I'm gonna wax a little nostalgic after I cover. I just want to also just come back and point out something that you just said. You have 8 bolts and 2 rods, and
Pretty tough.
you're waiting for it to be cool.
Have you looked up what these titanium bolts look like?
No.
They're scary looking. I mean, I want to show you guys photos of this, but I looked
Okay.
it up the other day and I saw the X-rays. They've got all the ridges on them. And,
There's it's like bolts with screws and
yeah, and then they kind of like tip a bit so you can have a little bit of mobility. But mine's in my thoracic spine. It starts at T10 and then goes to L2. So it's not.
Okay.
That's a part of my back. Oh, looks like Quinn almost just watching him.
we've
bounce.
been enjoying Quinn's
Yeah.
adventure.
Quinn's quest.
Hi, Rebecca.
He's pointed the wrong way.
Yeah.
That's the
He's doing like spins around.
This is
Three
Rebecca
sisters.
who did right by her kids by telling them to go have a river adventure and making sure they had enough gas cans.
Yep.
Teaching us
Yeah.
where the shoals are.
Yep.
Very young age.
All right, I'm gonna do a little nostalgia. So we had a river adventure, probably 10. I don't know. I'm really bad with time these days, but Rebecca, you were in, I think the Bouvet, which is a 26-foot Lyman sleeper. You might have been in the Whaler, and your brother was driving the Bouvet, and we were in our Penyan, and we were the only ones with a GPS, and we went all the way down to Chippewa Bay, and I'm cruising along happily, like trusting that you knew where you were going, even though you had told me you had no idea where you were going. And I'm like, I don't know, this water's starting to look a little like it could be thin. And I zoomed in on the GPS, and that was when the resolution of all of the shoals, that layer that I zoomed into, was when like, oh, that's where we're going to show you where all the shoals are. And we were in the middle of a field of shoals. And I remember being like, stop! And right at that moment, one of your kids was riding on the bow, of course. And like the kid was like, Mom, stop! And you like jammed the throttle back, and you did that. My favorite laugh of yours. I don't know if you can do it on command, but
I can't. You just did do it on command. I can't believe that.
We found the swimming shoals. We did. The man, like, it's your superpower that glass is always half full, and you always find the swimming shoals.
That could have been bad. The Beauvais is made of wood. That would have
Probably you on the bow.
Yeah, that probably was.
You need to be going backwards.
I think he's experimenting. He's working it out.
Or is he
Mental
actually waiting for someone to save him? I mean,
I don't know. I feel like he'd wave at us.
I mean, the sail's up. Look, he's.
you don't think he
Probably
needs
okay.
help? This is looks a little sketch.
So, Quinn,
I'm
when you
excited
listen to
to-
this,
yeah.
I want you to know that nobody is at all giving off the vibe that they want to help you.
Oh, he's totally fine.
So, like, if you
I'm
actually,
not
Quinn,
worried
right now, if you're out there struggling in the laser to like dock safely, Nobody.
Quinn, if you're in
can
trouble,
give-
maybe-
next time
give
wave your
him-
arms.
Maybe someone should go get him.
He's moving.
Rebecca just said a very, very good Rebecca line. Yeah, well, once he turtles, we'll go get him.
That's a lady who's raised a lot of babies.
He's just in reverse.
Looks fine for now.
Yeah, he's close.
What do you guys think? Any parting thoughts, words, anything you want? Any news, submissions for boats of the week, or hold on.
I have one meaningful question, and then I think then we should do. I want you to plug some stuff that you do that you're excited about.
Sure.
All right. So the one meaningful question though is like Jack. You're out of college. You taught for the first year last year. Mm-hmm. What age?
It's mostly 10th grade English, and then I teach one class per semester of juniors and seniors.
Okay. And you coached what age?
JV lacrosse, so a lot of freshmen and sophomores, 14 through 16. Yeah.
Nice. And CCU, is it a 5-year program?
No, it's 4 years. I've just had a lot of false starts, I guess.
Okay, good. I'm a big fan of false starts. I think
Yeah.
you end up better off after
Yeah.
false starts. So, like, how has boating, the freedom of it, how does being on the water, how has that become like, not a different part of your life, but maybe something that you appreciate in a different way now that you're just a little bit older?
Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I mean, when we were kids and we were driving boats around, it was all for fun. And as we said, now it's kind of 70-30, 70% for chores. I think now, more than ever, we understand the responsibility that goes into taking care of them because they break constantly. Things go wrong.
Word.
We were just talking about this with the battery. Everyone here has to be kind of a layman mechanic and figure out how to fix the issues that constantly go wrong in their boats. And nowadays, we're also thinking about how to maintain them financially. And because, again, the point that needs to be made is we need them. You 100% need them just to be here. We take them a lot more seriously nowadays,
Well said.
but we still screw around. Just to make that clear, there's still a lot of fun to be had on a boat.
Yeah. Messing about.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate the question one more time. What like, I would echo Jack, absolutely, but
As you're getting to be as you're gaining a little bit more perspective on life, on the world, how has the sort of your experience or the meaning of being on the water changed, or is it really just the same? Just you like it even more?
I think that the fact that I've become more independent and confident being on the water and having such a deeper appreciation and respect for boats, where, like Jack was saying, you're putting so much time and effort into taking care of it, into cleaning it, into driving, all of this stuff. It makes it a lot more exciting, and so I feel a lot more empowered when I'm on the water, but I don't think that there is really words in the English language for me to kind of describe what that feeling is like. And this summer was amazing for that, and I just kind of had an entire summer of that feeling of just being incredibly empowered and feeling like I've known this place like inside out. And I mean, there's always so much more to learn, and you think you know everything, and then you just encounter something else.
Boats, it takes
yeah.
a lot longer to get to know a place by boat than it does other ways.
But I think that's what's exciting about it,
Exactly.
and it's never going to get old either to me.
Because we always talk about how there's no roads.
Yep.
And because there's no roads, that means there's just that much more water to be on.
Yeah, it's just more exciting.
The thick water and the thin water.
Yeah.
So you have a project that you're excited about, something that you're doing
Here?
anywhere?
Well, we're kind of writing a play.
Yeah.
We're working on it. Definitely a satire on the river because there's a lot to laugh about here.
It's friggin' ridiculous.
It's really, it's pretty easy to joke about the way things
Play.
work up here. It's all insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, we worked on it this summer and didn't get very far because
We're going to keep working on it this year. I'm really excited to be working on it this year.
Yeah?
That's something we think a lot about, how to stay connected to the river throughout the year when we're away from it. And this will be kind of a physical thing, I feel like, that I can work on.
As our generation has been growing up, we don't have as consistent summers together. So that's another way things have changed.
It's been random.
There are 20-something of us that are like teenagers, 20-somethings. And now that we're getting older, we have to put in a lot more effort to,
But
keep
it's
our
fun.
connection with this place.
This is, I think, another really worthwhile thing to acknowledge that we all take for granted is that for the most part, when you're young, you see each other every summer and then life changes and
You
you
take
become.
it for granted, too.
Yep. And then
Kinda like,
life
ooh.
gets in the way a
Yeah.
little bit, but people always do come back, right?
Yeah.
So that changes the way you see each other and how much you see each other changes, but it does tend to be something that brings you back together over and over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm fired up. You're motivated to stay connected through creating something like a play.
Yeah.
About the river or
Yeah.
making fun of the river.
I would love
Oh.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Both,
I would
both.
love to be of service to the play, the production, anything I can do to help, let me know.
Absolutely.
I will certainly be in
Like,
contact.
this has been a really wonderful chat. Thank you for sharing your time and your experiences with us.
Thank you for having us.
Jeff and Steph, thank you guys.
You're welcome.
We're big fans of the show.
Huge fan.
That makes me so happy.
Yo ho ho, that's it for the Boaty Show. Pack the cooler, grab the lines, let's go, go, go. Yo ho ho ho.
That's it for the Boaty Show, everybody. Jack just admitted that he skips the outro. So this is his first time hearing it.
I got the next episode.
You have to, Jack, you say stay floaty.
Stay floaty.
You say stay boaty.
Stay boaty.
There you go.